Hello friends, and welcome to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. Thank you for joining me today. We are doing another shop hop block. We are doing the Snail's Trail Wave block. We are doing the foundation paper piecing block. Now, how I do this, and this is because the first time I ever did foundation paper piecing, Miss Dee at Stitched and Faith told me, "Oh, it's so easy. Do this, and it'll show you." Get your tracing wheel and go over all your lines. You could use a ruler and put a bend in it if you want to, but I find the tracing wheel works better. So I have my instructions here on what colors to put where. I have all my fabrics cut, but the first thing I am going to do is make a 4-patch. So what I have to do, I know where my placement is. You're going to sew this first. So I am going to sew my 1 and 2 together, and then my 3 and 4 together, and then I will sew and press them together and make that 4-patch. So guys, how are y'all doing today? I hope things have been going well for you today. So there's our 1 and 2, and our 3 and 4 are the same color. The 2 is the only one that's a different color, so have to make sure to do it properly so that 2 is in the correct location. I am happy to be getting on my shop hop blocks here. Honestly, they had kind of been lost in the shuffle with all of the organizing and stuff. Let me show you what I'm using. So you saw my tracing wheel. I have my tracing wheel. I have a glue pen. And I have my add 1/4 inch. So those are the tools that I'm using right now. So I am going to press this to the wave. Let me see when I open it up, because I want the waves to be going the same direction. Okay. So I now have these pressed. I am going to nest these, and I have to make sure that I nest them correctly, because that white has to be the top right piece. So I'm going to pin this and sew this, and I'm hoping to get you where you can see what I'm doing on the foundation paper piecing part. You may not be able to see me, but you will be able to see my table and what I am doing. And why not? Y'all may not want to look at me anyway. Y'all may want to be watching this and seeing what's going on. Foundation paper piecing. It is very easy once you figure out how to do it. And I'm not going to fib to you. I have to watch a reminder video every time I do foundation paper piecing, because unless you do it every day, it's real easy to forget how you do it. So this is my first piece. So in order for me to do this, I don't have enough room here. So I am going to move a station over here close to me, because that's where I'll be getting my fabric to put on the sewing machine. But I will need to be pressing. So I may press over here and then do all my cutting and stuff over here, so y'all can see that. So one moment. Okay, so now we can see I have these 4 done. And what I will do is lay that, which you actually do this on the back. Now, in order to do this, I have to center the center of this on the back, and I poked a hole in it with a pin. So let me find that hole here. And what I will do, well, actually it's easier if I do it this way. Just put the pin in the center and push up. So I have that pin poking out. Now I know most people probably don't do it this way, but this is the easiest way for me to do it. And you know, I've already got it right there. So let me find the center of this block, and I've got to get it turned the direction. Now I will use the glue on this, so don't think this is how I'm doing it. I'm using this to center it. I know that is my center. So I'm going to take my glue while my pen is still in it. I'm going to roll a little bit of it out, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it on that seam line to hold that seam down. And I'm going to put a little bit on that seam line because I can see where my stitches are, you know, and I'm going to press that down. So now I can turn it this way, put some glue on that seam line. You stitch on the back side of your fabric. That's why I use the my tracing wheel is so, let me get that pen out now, because now that I've got that glued down, it's not going anywhere. But there that is on making sure we're good. I see we're good. So the next thing we are going to do is our 5. So I can turn it over this way. I am going to roll the paper to where I have that press line at. You see that there? And that's where I need to stitch actually. But so I know where my fabric has to go. It has to go on that line. So let's see, that's 1, 2, we're going 5. Which one is 5? This is going to be the light blue with fish. So we have this one here, and we know right here is where we have to put that. And to make sure it's centered, you have your center line there. Now you can easily turn it up to make sure it covers everything. It don't have to be directly on that line, but you need to make sure that when it flips, it covers your peak. So I'm going to come up just a bit, and I'm going to take my glue and just put a dot there to hold that down. So when I flip it to sew, gotta make sure I'm centered there, that my fabric doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so you see I have it laid down there. You may not be able to, but there you go. I am going to flip over. Let's make sure we're still attached good. I'm going to come over here and stitch on that 5 line. Now this is going to be the one that goes straight across above the 1 and 2. So let's see if we can get this. And actually, you don't even have to, oh, I got something in the way there, don't I? You don't even have to bend that paper before you sew it, just as long as you're able to bend it after you sew it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to specifically cut my threads, and I'm going to be very slow and careful about it. Okay, so now that I have the 5 there, the 5th piece, you do want to fold it. And when you fold it, I'm turning this over to the paper side. I'm putting that add a quarter right there. It's got a groove right here on the add a quarter. I put that right on that bend. And I have my little rotary here. And I cut that. Now, I do like to press between each piece because I just like that crisp. But one thing to remember, do not use steam. Why? Okay. Because that will cause your paper to shrink. Now I am, like I said, I'm trimming all these threads here. I'm going to press this real quick and be right back, and we'll do number 6. Okay, so now it's time to do number 6. And number 6 is straight down. I want to make sure that I'm covering and making sure that I'm centered. So I just put that point on that center line. I got my thing here in the way, so make sure, yeah, that's going to be good. So I'm going to, once again, do a glue dot here, or a dab of glue. And let's make sure we're centered. We are centered. We're going to flip over and sew on that line 6. And this is going to be the one that is below the 3 and 4. You do this by the number because that tells you which piece to put on in what order. Everything I have done has had a piece that you just lay on there flat and then work away off of it. Because I know when I started, I was like, how am I going to get that first piece to flip, you know, after I put the others on? Because you got to do more than one side. Okay, that's 1 through 6 right there. That white should be the top right. So now we're going to do 7. So 7, let's find which color. Oh no, my 6 should have been 6, 7, and 8 should, oh my goodness, y'all, I've got to take this one off. No. I thought, which this is what I get for thinking. Guys, it would not be a sewing day for me if I didn't have to pull this out. So this is 6. 6 should have been a white piece. So let me get number 6 out. We won't take long doing this. I can't see, y'all. If you'll notice behind me, the curtains are dark. It's because it's dark outside, but it's not that. It's only 7:30. It shouldn't be that dark. We had a little storm trying to brew again, so that's always fun. Let's see if I got a thread I can just pull now. Okay, well that goes to show you to pay attention. Look at your numbers on your color chart. So that wasn't the right one. So 6, 7, and 8 are going to be these. So I can pull 3 of these out. 6, 7, and 8. Now this is a white on white. So I have to make sure, and my light seems like it's trying to go out. I must have left it on. So this is going to be, so let's get this one done right. Guys, that's what I'm saying. This is showing you how you can really mess up. Okay, so I am, as long as you know you have enough to fold over, and you're gonna sew on that line and it'll be okay. The placement, I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, because it does. You have to make sure there is enough fabric to cover the square or the triangle in this instance, the piece that you need to cover. Okay, so this is our 6. Get our string off of here, our thread, get that thread cut. So now what we do, we are going to fold this on that 6 so we can trim. And remember, we're using our add a 1/4 inch. We're going to put that down. And trim that off. and then we will press. So it's sew, fold, trim, press. That makes sense. Okay, so that's with the 6. So now 7 is going to be our next one. Just a little something to make that stay where it needs to be. I'm going to roll it over here. And we're going to continue to do the same thing all the way through. Let's see, we got 20 pieces that we will be putting on. And we are just sewing on that line. I have seen people that do not sew on the paper. I don't mind sewing on the paper. If I have to, I'll buy paper, but I don't really do a lot of foundation paper piecing. So this is 7. We're going to go ahead. Remember, sew, fold, and then press. All right, sew, fold, trim. I'm sorry, trim. Don't forget to trim. Trim, and then press. And next we have 8, so we will get our 3rd piece here. Just put a little glue on there to make it stay. Now, foundation paper piecing is a wonderful way to get a very detailed pattern done. I have one that I want to do, but oh my goodness, y'all, it is so many pieces to it. I think it's like 38 pages. I purchased it online, and oh my goodness, it is so many pages. But I want to do it, and I wanted to have it done by Christmas this year, but I don't know. That may be, you know, one of my own personal projects that I have to do, and I can just kind of show you updates of it periodically. So the next thing we want to do is 9. Let's see which one is 9. Okay, 9 is the next larger size of our background. So what I need to do is make sure my point, and you can almost, but not quite, use the center of your 4 patch as your guide, I guess to say. So now we're doing number 9. And what we'll do is go around this whole page like this with all of our rectangles and sew on that line exactly. And be careful when you're trimming your threads that you don't cut your fabric like I just did. But that piece is going to be under another piece, so I'm not real worried about it because it's like on the edge. So, but we are just quickly doing our, what's it called? Snail's Trail Wave Block. Number 10. Okay, number 10 is going to be the blue with dots, which is this one. So our number 10 is blue with dots. So that means I'm going to turn this direction. Going to adhere that right there, making sure I'm centered, and I'm flipping it. And guys, I can't believe it took me so long to get to these because the shop hop was like in March, I believe. But I started organizing and things just got put. This actually got put in a bag, and I can remember I was like, I'm going to put that in a bag because I know I'll go to that first. I did not go to this first, so. But we're going to fold here. Let me go in and trim the thread on this side. You don't have to trim the threads all the way around, but I kind of do. I like trimming them, keeping it clean. Now, this here, like this here, I'm not going to be able to trim 1/4 of an inch because it's not that much there. But I always make sure I know I'm going to have at least 1/4 of an inch left when I do that. So, let me flip. Okay, so now we are on to 11. 11 is going to be the same fabric. So let's see here if we can get this. I know I'm going to be putting it right here. So I'll go on and put my glue there. Now this overhangs the blue and the blue and the white on the sides there. So it's going to tie that down, those two pieces down. And y'all, if you've never tried foundation paper piecing, just get you a piece of copy paper, go to Moda Blockheads. But you'll have to go to Moda's website and go to the Blockheads and print down one of their foundation paper piecings. And they have videos on how to do it. It's so easy. And you can get beautiful quilt blocks with foundation paper piecing. It's very small, very detailed, and really does not take a lot of time really to do it. Okay, so we're going to fold. Of course, I'm trimming my threads. I don't like to see a lot of threads there because it just makes my job a little difficult. Having all them strings out there, all them threads hanging out. We're cutting that 1/4 inch. I think, guys, I want to do a foundation paper piecing quilt. Now, I don't know how that's going to work. Okay, so 12. Okay, so we are on 12, correct? 12, yes, we are on 12. 12 is a background piece, and I am going to say this is the right size. I don't want that. I don't need my ripper right now. I need to get my glue stick there. So we are going to lay our 12. We're going to try to center that point. I think the hardest thing about foundation paper piecing is making sure your fabric does not fold under. You know, holding it under there so it doesn't fold under. And get caught, you know, in your... Okay, so we are about to fold, trim, and press. So this is what we're looking like right now. So our next step, that was 12, is 13. Now 13 is going to be using a larger background. So let's find 13. This is 13, and it is a triangle also. So what I'm going to do is just mark right there, because I know it is going to what do you call it? It's going to match up with that to make that point, so it's not cut off, but it's going to go flush with that point. So this is the perfect way. I need to get these foundation paper pieces for flying geese. Now I know I've seen like the flying geese on a roll. I think that's maybe what that is, or triangles on a roll or something like that. I wonder if I could do flying geese that way. I can't do them any other way because they all get wonky. Oh, and guys, when I say flying geese, I think about my friend Tammy over at the Siberian Wind, y'all. She apparently loves them things. But she got second place in her quilt that she entered in the quilt show, the one with the arrows on it. She got second place. So congratulations, Tammy. That is amazing. I never dream of placing, but I've only put one quilt in a show, and it was just to show. It was not to win anything. And I will be entering my land that I love And it's not going to be to win anything, because I don't think I'll win anything. So now we're 14. Ooh, 14 is a different one. It's a color one. It is a dark blue wave. This is our 14. So I like using the dark color. I love using these dark colors. So what I'm going to do is kind of put my glue here to hold it in place. Okay, so we are going to flip this right over here. But anyway, Tammy got second place. So guys, if y'all go to her channel, she's The Siberian Wind. Give her a congratulations. Awesome job. And that just goes to show, because I believe she did that quilt 100% scrappy. Out of scraps, maybe. So that's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and fold this up and trim. But Tammy, super job. I'm so happy for you. I cannot wait until you get your scorecard to let us know how they scored, because I know once before you said one time, you know, it's really according to like the judges and what they're looking for. Okay, so that was 14, so now we're going 15. 15 is that same fabric. Make sure I'm doing it the right side. Yep. Going to give it a dab of glue. We're going to line that point up on the center there, and we just keep folding over, guys, folding over. So much for instructional here. I'm sure y'all have got the picture on how to do this. It's really easy. And if y'all would like to do something foundation paper piecing and would like me to do it, and y'all to just join along, let me know. Give me a pattern. I don't really know a lot of foundation paper piecing patterns, but I love foundation paper piecing because you can get such detail out of it. And I remember, like, my first year of quilting, I was doing the Moda Blockhead 5, and they had a block that was foundation paper piecing, and that's all I needed to see, and I quit doing it. Because I was like, I am not doing foundation paper piecing. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how to do it. I was very intimidated by it. And thanks to Miss Dee Dee for, you know, telling me how easy it was, because it really is easy. I mean, it doesn't matter how your pieces are. You're literally sewing the shape of the that your fabric needs to be. So if my triangles are not centered, it's not going to be a big deal. There we go. We're coming around. So let's see, what is our next one? I think it's 13, 14, 15, 16. What is 16? 16 is a white. Here we go. But I would love to do a foundation paper piecing quilt, but I just really don't know any designers. I did get a wall hanging that I ordered off of Etsy last year that I wanted to have done by Christmas, and I didn't get it done last year by Christmas, and it's not going to happen this year by Christmas probably either. I would like to get to it and I'll just tell y'all what it is. It is a nutcracker. It is a very tall nutcracker. And I think I got it on Etsy. But it is so many pages. But I think I could probably use my scraps to do this nutcracker, because I have, you know, a lot of the color, you know, Christmas colors that would be used in it. And y'all notice I don't fold the whole page. I just crease right there at the fabric, because once I lay my ruler down, it gets everything else. And this add a quarter is fabulous. At first I thought, oh, I don't need that. I could just use my regular ruler. But no, this has that little groove that it bumps right up to that paper and makes it amazing. Okay, so here we are. Let's see, that's not the That's the way it goes. So that was 16. So now we're doing 17. And 17 is a large white. 17 and 19. So this is our 17 on this side. This is one of our larger triangles. Now you will trim at the end. Oh, I put that the wrong way. I was going, where's my line? Of course there was no line. Now your 17th one, I did not mark my last line, which I will need to do that. I probably need to do that before I get all of these sewn on. I'm going to go in and use my tracing wheel and mark. And I'll show you how to do it. I just take the tracing wheel and like where this line is, I know I'm not going to be able to do that line straight. And it tells you on the line, do not cut on this line. So this is the line you don't cut because you're going to bend this line to trace. You're going to bend the line so you can trim, not trace, so you can trim your fabric a 1/4 inch away. And there is a trim. The next line says trim on this line. You have 2 lines on the outside, and one says do not trim and the other one says trim on this line. Now see, when you use a tracing wheel, it just works really well too. Now I know some people just use a ruler and just fold it up, but this to me is just so much easier. Now I may not be perfectly on that line, and I'm kind of on the inside a little bit because I used my ruler. I didn't trim my threads here, and I got to get these threads hanging out. I don't like all these threads hanging out. But okay, so we got that one done. So I need to fold this one now and trim this fabric. Yeah, I just realized I put this on wrong. My white should have been on the other side. Oh well, of this one. The white should have been over here. So now it's going to look a little screwy. That's okay. It'll be okay. So 18 is our wells. And guys, it's so funny that I just now noticed it. But that white, you know, when you're doing it from the back, it threw me. So it's going to be what it's going to be. My snail trail wave just ain't going to look quite right. But it's okay. I'm not going to stress over it. Because it's almost done. It's too late now to stress over it. I'd have to undo them all. And I'm not doing that. And it even says on the picture, on the paper here, to pay particular attention to the colors. The dark colors and all that. Well, I thought I was. But yeah, real life, this happens. Sometimes it happens and you're just at a point where you can't, and you just decide to live with it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living with it because it's not hurting me. It's not hurting anybody else. Now, it's not right now, but my, what's it called? OCD may kick in and it may bother me really bad, but I'm not going to let it. And so you don't have to press after every block, but I am. Okay, so now we are on 19, and 19 is another white. Just daubing some glue there. And I'm just trying to get a semblance of centered here. It don't have to be exact or accurate. Just as long as when it flips over, it fits within the line for it. That's all that matters. Guys, it looks like we're making good time on this, even though I had to, you know, take some stuff out. I guess I don't know how I didn't catch this, but I didn't. Okay, and now when you get to this part, like some of these, you might have already sewn over some of it, because these on the edge, you do sew across it. And you just, it's okay if the paper tears just a little bit right there. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm not going to press that one until I put this other one on. And this is going to be our last piece, which is our shark piece. So I just kind of hold it down and slide it under the needle here. And I'm sewing on that line. So what I'm going to do now is, now I had a couple pieces that I didn't use, which is okay. Okay, so I'm going to press these real quick and then we will trim. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we have everything sewn. So now we're going to take it, and it says trim on this line, which I'm going to say is 1/4 of an inch. Do I need to sew that? It does not say do. It just says do not trim on this line. But to me, that is our fold line. Now, you don't have to do that. You can use your ruler and line it up to that second line if you want to. That is if you want to. If you don't and you want to continue to do the fold and the add 1/4, you can do that. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to go on and fold, and I'm going to use that add 1/4 because I just feel like that is a better, accurate 1/4 than what I could do, because like I said, the edge does grab that paper. Now I have a piece of the paper right here kind of catching my, now we're going to fold the next edge, and I'm just continuing on around until I am finished, and I will show you the block here in just a second. Okay, so I have the block completed. Now what we have to do is tear the paper away. You just tear it off. That's all you do. Just tear it away. And when you use the tracing wheel, it serrates that paper to make it much easier to tear off. Now, remember, you do have the glue on there, but that should only be on your fabric, but sometimes, you know, if it squeezes through, you may have a little trouble. I'm just taking each piece that I did and just pulling it away from that fabric. Okay, so this square is complete. Now I know it looks funny because my thing there, so it doesn't look like it's supposed to look. I may actually go in and sew this, take it apart and sew it right. But so far, that's what it looks like. And guys, I'm so sorry it's wrong. But thank you for joining me. If you'd like to do a foundation paper piecing with me, let me know. If you have a pattern that you think would be fabulous, let me know. We may do that as one of our sew-alongs that goes multiple months. So guys, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.